So this is an excerpt from my money course. I want to talk about good debt versus bad debt. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, no matter what type of business, you have to understand the distinction between good and bad debt. Bad debt is basically debt that you incur, you build up to just consume products, go on trips, buy a couch, buy a car. Debt that's just used to get massages, eat out at restaurants, credit card debt, that kind of stuff. That's bad debt. Putting debt onto credit cards, that's also bad debt. So it's not only what you buy, but the type where you have that debt plays a role, whether it's good or bad. So if you're buying stuff just for consumption, partying, going on trips, etc., has nothing to do with business, that's bad debt. And if you're putting that debt onto credit cards and not paying it off and running up a credit card balance, that's also terrible bad debt. Good debt is debt that you use to invest. You borrow money to buy a house. That's a quality of life, and also houses tend to go up in value. That's good debt. You go into debt to buy equipment that you need for your business, to build your business. That's good debt. You get a business loan with low interest rate, as opposed to a credit card with high interest rate. You want low interest rate loans to buy, again, computer equipment or to buy equipment that you need or services that you need for your business. That's good debt. So good debt and bad debt, not all debt is good, not all debt is bad. Depends what you do with it and where you place it. If you're in a situation where you need to buy a piece of equipment and you have to put it on your credit card, I would be very reluctant to do so, especially if you're first starting out, because that credit card debt is going to eat you alive, just the interest rate. So you don't want to do that. You want to borrow the money from somebody or take a little, I don't know if you have a condo that you own or something, take a mortgage on that or something. You got to do something, or just save the money. Rent equipment, borrow the equipment, find another way. You got to stay away from credit card debt. That's the one thing. That's like the worst debt because the interest rates are so high. It's all about the interest rates. If you're in a situation where you have a lot of credit card debt, one of the strategies you can use to mitigate against that, to bring that down, is to maybe get a personal loan that's much lower interest rate and then pay off the credit card debt and don't use that credit card again. The rule about credit card use is that if you can't afford to pay for whatever you're buying with the credit card in cash within 30 days, you can't afford to buy it. Wait. Why pay the bank, why pay the credit card company this interest, which could be 15, 20% or more? That's crazy stuff, crazy stuff. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Have patience, get extra jobs on the side, buy it properly. Number one. Number two, if in terms of reducing your credit card debt, which is terrible debt, you can do a balance transfer from credit card A to B. So a lot of times if let's say you have MasterCard, you're going to go to Visa, you can transfer your balance from the MasterCard to Visa and they won't charge you interest for 6 months. So that gives you 6 months to pay off debt without paying interest. I had a friend who did that several times. He would bounce from boom, 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 paying off his cards. So you could save thousands and thousands of dollars potentially in interest payments by playing this strategy. There's other things you can do. But anyway, so now you know about good debt, bad debt. Go into debt to expand your business, buy a house, good debt. Go into debt to just live life, have parties, eat out, buy vacations, go on, consumer debt, bad debt. Buying TVs for yourself, bad debt. I have a basic rule I've been living by for decades now. If you don't have the cash, you can't afford to buy it. That's it. If you don't have the cash, you cannot afford to buy it. With the one exception, buying a house, even the car, I buy my stuff cash. So, you may not be able to do it now, but you can build up to that. And you learn to live that way, you'll find yourself very quickly in a very good financial position. You don't necessarily need to have $10 million in the bank to be financially free. If you have certain strategies in place, you understand good debt and bad debt, and then you manage that debt properly, and ideally no debt, or well-managed debt that accrues well for you. For example, buying rental real estate, that's kind of basic. You buy rental real estate, you leverage that up, and that's good debt because you're making money off of that and everything's cool. Anyway, that's a whole different subject. So now you know the basics of it. Whatever you do, if you take away anything from this video, if you have bad debt, you got to cut it out. You got to make extraordinary efforts to cut it out, because once you get rid of that debt, you're like, big level, big load off your shoulders, big load off your shoulders. All right. Thanks for watching the video. I hope this was useful. If you do find this useful, hit the like button. You know the story. Bye-bye.